Little rage sign
golf
right in front
is
of
only
Mick.
my second favorite sport. Tennis is my favorite sport.
And, of course, the sport where you have the most expertise, Mick, is a little game that they play on ponds called hockey, the beautiful game.
That is not a sport. Hockey is life.
What's going on with the Bruins? Give us a little update about some new happenings and what's coming ahead for the Bees.
All right. Defenseman Matt Hunwick.
Nickname, please?
Honey?
Is it Honey?
I've heard one. I actually heard Shane Knighty call him Honey.
What about
Sheriff Shane Knighty?
Mattila the Hun?
How about Hunzi?
He's not a baseball player.
How about Hunzo?
That's good. That's
and then Matty's an easy one too. So.
Matty? Yeah, see, I'm obsessed with hockey nicknames.
Huns. I could see Huns happening. But anyway, he avoided salary arbitration on eve of his hearing and signed a contract which leaves the elephant in the kitchen.
Which is?
Seth Wall.
Phil
Kessel. He is an unsigned restricted free agent. The rules of that is basically as follows. A team could come forward with an offer sheet for Phil Kessel, which the Bruins would have the right to match and retain him, which would put him way over the salary cap, or they have to struggle to get this guy under contract or trade him. And we don't really know exactly what's going to happen here. It hasn't happened yet.
So what is, if you're Chiarelli, how do you handle it?
I trade him for an offensive defenseman like Thomas Caberlet, which Chiarelli and Brian Burke, the Toronto GM, just had a deal all set, but they miscommunicated over attached draft picks in the deal, and what else would go the other way. That miscommunication between these two Harvard grads resulted in a lot of egg on the face for both, a lot of damage control, and now Chiarelli, because he apparently doesn't see a deal out there worth making for Kessel, he is now trying hard to say the right things and get Phil to come back at a reasonable price.
He's restricted. So if someone signs him, they can match it or not match it?
They can match it and keep him, or they cannot match it and accept a package of draft pick compensation that is determined by the amount of money he winds up.
So what do you think they would get? A first round pick?
I don't know off the top. I can't remember what the levels are, but I don't think anybody's going to be forthcoming with an offer sheet worth like $5 million, which would probably would take to get like a first and a second or something crazy like that. It would be something that wouldn't be. The Bruins will definitely match. Chiarelli has said that. I believe it. He'll move another player if he had to in order to make sure that he doesn't lose this asset for draft picks. I think
so. That's not what they want.
In most cases, anyway, a GM won't blindside you. He'll say, "Look, we're thinking about an offer sheet for Kessel. Can we work out a deal here so we can all be in control of what happens?"
Okay.
And that would be how that happened. He almost traded him at the draft. He tried to trade him, which that fact should not be lost. If somebody emerges as a good trading partner, I think he's gone.
They'll do it.
Now, as if I can speak for the Johnny-come-latelys to hockey, obviously Kessel does a lot of things really well that are noticed, by hockey fans. If he were to leave the team, skate and score, yes. We'll start with the simplest things. What do the Bruins lose if he leaves, whether it be by trade or whether it be unlikely as it is that he's signed to an offer sheet and it isn't matched? What do the Bruins lose, and who do they have on their roster now who can kind of replace some of the things that he did so well?
Marco Sturm. Marco Sturm was
Nickname,
injured.
Please. Nickname.
Sturmy.
Thank you.
He was injured early in the season in a home game and had MCL and ACL. And he reported from the day they did the presser for the Winter Classic at Fenway that he had skated and it was no problem and that he's just going to build up strength. And he's a speedy guy in the prime of his career. And it was an awkward collision kind of a thing. So I get the sense that he can come back to full force. And if he does, he's been a perennial 30-goal scorer for the Bruins, right around that mark.
So Kessel is...
he ain't going to score as much as Kessel, but I think he's a better player otherwise.
But so Kessel isn't the guy who's...
He's not your core guy.
As much as he's a guy that fans like and it's kind of a front, he's makes the highlight reels.
He's spectacular,
he's not a make or break.
And not mine.
They have enough
opinion.
other guys.
I don't consider him a core player. I'm not paying a winger core money unless his name is Cam Neely, Jerome McGinley,
Cam Neely has retired.
Ovechkin,
has he not?
Yeah, right. But I mean, if there's a guy of that ilk, then I pay them core money. I pay them top dollar. I don't pay top dollar to a guy who's like spectacular, but flighty and in other really weak areas of his game. I want a guy who's good on both sides of the puck, and a guy who helps his teammate be better, no matter where the puck is on the ice and no matter which team has it. That's more Patrice Bergeron.
Now, you made some mention of the salary cap also. People may not understand that as well as they would, salary caps being what they are. Is this a case where if they have to match an offer sheet, will they go over the cap? Do they have to clear guys out to make room? How flexible is the cap? I think I've read something to the effect of that there is some room that you can go over, but can you kind of walk people through that a little bit?
Well, in the summer you can go over, but by I think it's like September 30th or something.
So you can do whatever you want, but
10%.
you have to.
Yeah, Nick was just giving me sign third base coach over there. 10% you can go over the cap. That's your buffer, your cushion, and that depends a lot too on whether or not the bonus cushion is in effect. And this year, Shirley said the bonus cushion is coming back. So let's just say Tuukka Rask is going to make the team next year.
Nickname?
Well, if I think they call him Tuukka.
Really?
Unless they call him Rasky.
You got 2 U's and 2 K's. That's pretty distinctive.
Yeah, it's a cool name. Go ahead, sorry.
Risky would be a good name for him, but he's not risky. He's very good.
Oh, very good.
So he's a goalie.
Yes.